All right, Steve, we're going to do an appointment. We're going to hear
Okay.
your appointment. I'm going to be the client, 55-year-old man whose kids are grown. So, get into appointment mode. I think you just yeah, and then I will be gentle as the client.
Okay. Started off with a ring ring.
Hello?
Hey, Marty.
Yeah, who's this?
Oh, hey, Marty. This is Steve. I was giving you a call for our mortgage protection consultation we had here at 10 a.m. My apologies for being 5 minutes late. The last appointment that I have was kind of a marathon, so my apologies for that.
Oh, that's appointments today?
That appointment is today.
Oh, I thought we had that for tomorrow.
I have you on my calendar now for 10. Is just want to confirm is now still a good time for you if we just spend a couple minutes going through what we had talked about just the other day briefly?
Yeah, just make it quick.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so Marty, I appreciate you taking a couple minutes. I know we spoke briefly just the other day and talked about the request that you had sent in for mortgage protection coverage and it's my responsibility to go in and do some research for you to find you those options. So that's what we'll go over quickly today. Marty, I don't think I asked you on the other call that we had. How long have you been at the property that you're in today?
Been here for 15 years.
15 years. Nice. Nice. Awesome. And you mentioned to me that you have two kiddos, correct?
I mean, they're kids to me, but yeah, they're grown and out of the house.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. And gotcha. So um and then no, not married, correct?
Not currently, no.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, perfect. Well, hey, I mean, before we jump into things here, I want to quickly explain my role if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, awesome. So Marty, I'm a licensed field underwriter, licensed in the state of Texas. I partner with about 35 different A-rated carriers that offer this type of coverage, the mortgage protection. I'm sure one or two of these names that you're familiar with or have heard of in the past, names like John Hancock, Foresters Financial, or Mutual of Omaha.
Yeah, I've heard of most of those.
Yep, all A-rated carriers that we use all the time. They're great carriers. My job, Marty, is to really help you figure out if coverage is actually needed, and if so, what kind and how much makes the most sense for you. Most of the families that I work with, they actually find that they need less coverage than they expected or than they thought that they did. So really, it's about what fits you best.
Ooh, quick
Um,
pause, quick pause.
yep.
You said to find out if this coverage is actually needed. Like, that's not salesy. He's a consultant. I'm here to help you out. Like, number one is to find out, do you even need this? What a takeaway. Like it's positioning the client to kind of go, I'm not even sure if you need this, right? I'm here just to show you what you have. So sorry for that pause, but you guys hope you picked, if you're not writing this down, I'm telling you to write it down. It's so good because it's a subtle little quote. And then he said, what was the next thing he said just now? It's one of my favorite things.
If so, how much? And
Most people need less than they think. You're giving their brain permission to not go for full coverage. There's such, Steve, that sentence and a half that you did is loaded with so much psychology of, I'm not trying to sell you. You probably don't need full coverage, or you can't afford it, or you don't qualify for it, right? But we're not going to say those two things. But it's, hey, I'm not selling you, and it's okay not to protect the full mortgage. Huge psychological factors because guess what? You get into it, you show them top coverage, and it's $350 a month. Let me think about that, Steve, because who you think about the psychology of this? Who in their right mind, take it husband, father, wouldn't want the most coverage for their family, right? I mean, they've reached out. They're that 1 to 2% reached out. So we have to fight that. Well, of course they want this or they just suck. Sorry. So there's a terrible person, but of course they're talking to us because they're not. But then we're going to show them either you don't qualify or the math is going to show them that they can't afford it. So they're going to want to think about that. Steve has given them permission not to think about it. That's number one. That's so I know it's a big. That's a number one thing to get rid of the not think about it. So sorry, Steve. I had to pause. That was a great two sentences stacked together that are the most powerful thing that you might do here. But we'll see. We got some more. So stuff for you guys to write down. All right. I know I interrupted you. See if you can pick back up.
No, of course. Um, Yep. So most families that I work with, they actually find that they need less coverage than they expected or less coverage than they thought that they did. So it's really about what fits you best. So Marty, I'll ask you a few questions about your mortgage. Just a quick review of your health. I know we talked about that yesterday. I just wanted to make sure that I'm thorough and I didn't miss anything. And really what your goals are. And then we'll shop the coverage or the carriers for the best options. And from there, we'll review some plans and pricing together. And if we find something that fits your needs and fits your budget, the next step is to work on your approval. And we'll do that with a simple application, which shouldn't take us any more than about 10 or 15 minutes. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, I guess so. Simple application. I like that. Another great little subtle thing, y'all. Pick up on it. All right. Continue on.
Okay, perfect. So, as I mentioned, I always like to be as thorough as I can be. And I also want to respect your time as well. So just really quick. So, I have you here at 55 years old. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. A non-smoker,
No, just the occasional cigar.
just the occasional cigar. When you say occasional, is that like once a week, once a month, once a year? What's occasional?
2 to 3 times a year.
Okay, 2 to 3 times a year. Okay, when you're out on the golf course or something, I imagine.
Yeah, something like that. If it's not 105 degrees out.
Okay, perfect. And then I always like to see this. I don't have too many notes written down for your health, which is a good thing. And I mean, no health issues, even something as minor like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, right?
No, I mean I had a colonoscopy a few years ago, and they found a few polyps. But other than that, I mean I have a little rescue inhaler, but I just seasonal allergies.
Okay, rescue inhaler. The results of the colonoscopy, everything came back as okay.
Yeah, the polyps they were precancerous, but they caught them, so no worries there whatsoever.
Okay, thanks. Perfect. All right, awesome. And then any outside of the colonoscopy, any surgeries or hospital stays over the last 5 or 10 years?
No, actually nothing there. Knee surgery when I was in my 20s, but that's about it.
Okay, old sports injury or something.
Uh, yeah, old guy trying to dunk. So
Nice. I wish I'd like to see that actually.
it wasn't
All
pretty.
right. Okay, perfect. So I have you here. So healthy across the board. And then I just want to confirm your mortgage. So I had the mortgage at 300,000. Was that roughly where it is today?
I got it down to about 250, but making some extra payments on it.
Oh, good. Extra payments. Okay. What is the monthly kind of all-in number?
Uh,
Monthly.
2750.
Okay. But you said you're making extra payments, so
I try to
is
pay
that
3 grand a month.
okay? Great. Just to get that down faster.
Yep.
Good for you. Is that a 30-year term?
Yeah. I actually have it down to 20 years.
Okay. 20 years left. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay, perfect. So nice and healthy, non-smoker, the mortgage of 250,000, making about $250 extra toward the monthly payment. It's down to a 20-year term. Okay, perfect. This is going to go back to my original comments, where I'd mentioned, you know, is coverage needed? And if so, how much might potentially make the most sense for you here? So what is it that you have in place today, Marty, for either life insurance or maybe a similar type of coverage where, God forbid, something were to happen to you, then that could essentially be used to kind of take care of that mortgage.
I've got $75,000 of coverage through work that I've always had. I've been with the company for a long time. I mean, I have my 401k that's got about 150 in it, and I plan on using that for retirement.
Okay,
But and then I have a little final expense policy. I just want to make sure my funeral expenses are covered. So I got that a few years back.
great. That's a private policy, that final expense policy.
Yeah, I got that one from a buddy of mine, and just realized you know, just want to make sure I have that covered because I knew it was important.
Gotcha. Perfect. Well, that's great that you have that in place. There's a lot of families and individuals that I talk to who don't have this type of in place. So the fact that you've done that planning already, that kudos to you. Um, so, I mean, I know you have that 401k savings that's kind of planned for retirement. Um, Anything else that could essentially be used to protect the mortgage, like anything even like substantial in savings, or is like that more of just kind of like a rolling average in the savings or checking account? What does that kind of look like?
I keep about 3 months worth of bills in the savings. So I got 30 grand in there, but that's just emergency money.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. 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 Okay. Awesome. So, love the fact that you have the final expense. All of the burial is going to be taken care of. You have that all set. You have the $75,000 through work. I mean that's great. I mean, I always encourage people to get as much coverage as they can through their employer, just because a lot of times it's inexpensive because it's directly through the work through the employer. The biggest difference is from compared to something like that to what we are going to be talking about today, is this policy. This is going to be, again, this is specifically for the mortgage and for the home, and this is a privately owned policy. This would be privately owned, similar to that whole life policy that you have. Um, Typically, and you probably already know this, when you have a work policy, if you were to ever separate from service or you decided to change jobs, those usually would stay at the employer. So this is going to be something that really it's privately owned. No one can take it away from you. Like I said, very similar to that whole life policy. So just something to kind of keep in mind.
Okay.
All right, perfect. So, you had mentioned you have two grown kids, and they're your daughters, right? That's what you had
Yes.
said.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Are they close by? They live near you?
One's about 30 minutes away. The other one lives other side of the country.
Awesome. Okay. You get to see your daughter that's on the other side. Where does she live? Just curious.
She lives up in New York. She decided she wanted to go up there to art school, and then she just never left.
Nice. Nice.
Broke my heart.
I'm originally from the East Coast too, so I'm here in California, so I have a that those are my old stomping grounds. Any grandkiddos or anything like that?
Hoping, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, it kind of helped me understand this a little bit better, Marty. I know you had responded to the information that you had received, and we're talking about a plan that's specifically not designed to protect the mortgage. God forbid something were to happen to you. Um, is that kind of the plan? Is when you pass, that your daughters would be taking over the home or taking over your estate, or are there the plans different than that?
Uh, it's really one of the reasons why I'm looking. I'm not really sure. I've talked to my daughter here locally a little bit. Um, depending where the grandkid situation ends up, they live in a smaller home, but it's fine for them. So I could see if she could work it out with her sister that they might take over this home. It's a little bit bigger for them. But then I kind of want to make sure that it's fair for both of my daughters to be able to split the home. And so right now, I'm not sure what would happen if I were to pass away tomorrow. But I just know that I want to make sure it's not a burden on them.
Gotcha. Make sure it's not a burden on them. Okay, perfect. But you've had a conversation with them already, and you're you've talked about them more potentially taking over the home, or do you think they would sell it?
I've had the conversation with my daughter who's local. If they, bless me with a bunch of grandkids and need the space, and we've kind of discussed the theory of that. I mean, I'm still young and pretty healthy. I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon, but I do know that, I don't want this to be a burden for them. I just want to make sure that they've got this and paid for and good to go for them.
Okay,
They're
perfect.
gonna have to figure it out for them at the time, but I want to, I don't know, just kind of a legacy, I guess, is what I really want this to be for them. And so it just gives them options.
Okay. Okay. And I appreciate you sharing that with me. It's your girls are lucky to have you. You'd be surprised how many, people that I talk to who, don't really find that as being important, and it's, I hate to say it, but it's, I almost get the feel, it almost feels like they're okay with leaving their family with a financial burden. So the fact that you share that to me just kind of speaks to who you are as a human being. And I appreciate you sharing that with me. And they're clearly lucky to have you as a dad.
Well, if you could tell them that every now and then, that'd be great.
All right, awesome. So Marty, if you could just grab a pen and paper for me quick and just let me know when you're ready.
Got it.
So I've got a couple of concepts that I want to share. And really once we find the one that's right for you, I'm gonna help you apply for it today. But let's make sure that we find the right one together, okay?
So Steve is telling me what we're going to do, by the way. Sorry, look, there's a couple times I wanted to pause, but I also want you to flow. But like he's telling me what we're going to do. When we find that, I'm going to help you apply for it today. All right, continue.
So so at the top of your paper there, write down American Amicable.
What was that again?
Yep,
American, how do you spell that?
it's Amicable.
Okay. Couldn't pick an easier one to pronounce, huh?
No, that is well, they are this is an A-rated carrier. They are based right out of your home state of Texas. They're actually located in Waco, Texas. Um, I mean, the reason that American Amicable is great, why I use them all the time for especially people who are in a similar situation, kind of shared a similar story, is they do have some of the most inexpensive pricing in the industry. I don't just use them because they're the most inexpensive. I mean, they do have really great pricing compared to some of the other carriers that are out there, but they have a great reputation. As I mentioned, they've been around for over a century. And they do a really good job at approving policies. And what I mean by that is, for people who are much older than you, people who are much, have much more serious health conditions than you do, they're just consistent with it. And then really just kind of in addition to that is they have a great customer service or client service model on the back end. So it's just a good combination of things that you'd want in a quality insurance carrier. So you got American Amicable there. What I'm going to do, and this is where I'm going to ask you to be as honest with me as you can be. Would that be okay?
Yeah, of course.
Um, so I'm gonna start off by really showing you the most comprehensive option. And you know, I've been doing this a long time. But, this has to fit your needs and it has to work within your budget. So, when I hear if somebody does need to think about it, a lot of the times that just means that it's just a little outside of the budget. So can I ask you to just to be honest with me, if it is too expensive or feels a little bit outside of the budget, would you just tell me that and then we can, kind of explore other options if we need to?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's great. Can't wait to see these options.
Okay, I appreciate it. All right, so we have American Amicable. Write down, this is going to be 20 years. So write down 20 years.
Okay.
So, so what that means, this is a 20-year term. It's essentially going to match the term of your that's left on your mortgage. So God forbid
Well, I
something
plan on,
happened
with the extra payments I'm making, I plan on paying it down in 15 years.
15 years. Okay, so that's a question that I'll ask you. So what would knowing that we want to make sure that your mortgage is going to be taken care of, does it make more sense to you to have something that would essentially line right up to that? Or, knowing that, this isn't directly tied to your bank, this isn't directly tied to the lender. So if you name your daughters as beneficiaries, this is going to be paid to them in a lump sum, 100% tax free. So does it make more sense to you to just have it? So, okay, we're going to cover that mortgage over the 15-year term, or do we want to see something that could potentially give you just a little bit extra space?
All right, so we're going to get into a danger zone here, Steve. I threw this
Yeah.
at you as a curveball because you know what the
Yeah.
client, does anybody know what the client's going to say next in a situation like this? Show me both.
Hmm.
And then we're going to get it confused. So sorry, I had to throw a curveball at you, man.
Wow.
And this was a great one because I kind of was teeing it up earlier with making extra payments. So one of the things I like to ask is, hey, you got a 20-year mortgage. Do you plan on having that for 20 years or you want to plan to pay it off early? Because if I love that question, because I'm doing this to you, I've ran into this way too many times, and I'm showing them 15, 20 year, and I mean, I am just teeing myself up for a think about it. Now, you may not have run into this a lot. I'm just taking it to another level, but I do love the question. I was like, okay, you got a 20-year mortgage. How long do you plan on having that for? Because I got stuck into the let me show you both realm, and I wasn't, for me, and Steve, you're probably better than I am. I couldn't get out of it. I got stuck into let me show you both because I'm like, oh, well, let me, because that's what they're going to say. Because they want to evaluate it. And then you're giving them a 15, 20 or different prices, and then they're confused, and confused buyers don't buy, and you are going to get to think about it.
So you're gonna ask them that before you're even gonna present the options.
Yeah,
Is that?
I always
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of
yeah.
my things, and this is just again, I'm we're digging deep, Steve. So, but I always ask, okay, hey, you got a 30-year mortgage? I go, hey, how long do you? So, especially here's why I did this. Let's say, Steve, we got someone who is 60 years old. They're healthy enough. We can do a term. I cannot put them in a 30-year term, right? Because that would take them to 90. Can't do it. Doesn't exist. So I go, oh, okay, 30-year mortgage. What 60-year-old do you know that actually thinks they're in their brain that they're going to have that mortgage for 30 years? Because I'll say it like this. I go, okay, you're 60, you got a 30-year mortgage. Do you plan on having that mortgage till you're 90? No, 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 we're going to pay it off. We're planning on paying it off early. Okay, hey, when? He goes, oh, we're going to do it we're actually going to pay it off in 15 years or 20 years. They gave me whatever number they give me, that's the term I'm going with. They've told me this plan that's in their head that I don't know about yet. And then I'm also realizing I got to get them off of a 30-year term because I can't do it.
Got it.
So
Yep.
it's again, I just wanted to, this is such a good little, if you run into this a lot, that's the fix. People are like, oh, well, I'm always showing them two options. You didn't ask enough questions up here. And when you get down here, you're giving them too many options. So now Steve is not going to run into this just the way he does things. I'm just throwing a little wrench in it. We're going to stick with the 20-year Steve. But if you do get there a lot, you got to realize the fix is up here. Because the last thing you want to do is show it, because he's going to say, show me both.
Mhm.
It's hard. I don't know how to backpedal out of that when you're already there. You're in the show them both, and again, Steve would probably smoke us here and show us how you show them both and get a decision. But we want it narrowed down. Like he's got it so he's narrowing everything down as he's doing this. So I hope that's helpful. But I just want to put a little pause there because my response to you, Steve, is well, show me both.
Yep.
So let's just stick with the 20-year. Or Steve, have you gotten there? Have you shown them both, and you have a tactic when you're showing them both?
So I don't actually, I don't get asked that question a lot.
That's why I figured you wouldn't
Yeah.
in this situation, but I just thought I'd throw it out there. So
No, that's great. That's great because that I could just I was picturing myself in that situation. Where I'm like, okay, where when they say show me both, I'm going to go there, and then I have five or six different
yeah,
options that I've just presented.
and then you're in trouble. So
Yeah.
and again, the way he was going down this path, it probably wasn't going to happen. I teed it up on purpose just for an example out there. But so let's continue on. Let's just go with the 20-year. And sorry for throwing you off.
Nope, it's all good. Okay, so American Amicable, we have this is 20-year term. So this is essentially going to match the length of your mortgage. This is a level plan, Marty. So what that means is that God forbid if something happens to you 5, 10, 20 years down the road, the coverage amount will never change, and the monthly premium will remain level as well. It will never go up or down. So So go ahead and write down. So the first concept that I have for you, you know, I'm going to be very honest with you. This is where I'm going to be honest with you. You are young, you are healthy. I'm going to start by just sharing with you the full coverage option. But what I see most people do when you're in a similar situation is looking at a partial payoff. What a partial payoff is going to do, and I kind of, if something were to happen to you, you know, down the road, that say like let's just say we don't know when it's going to happen, but let's just, for example, something happens to you 10 years from now. Over the next 10 years, you're going to be bringing that mortgage down as you're making those payments, especially you're making, overpayments, so that'll come down even faster. So if something were to happen to you then, this is going to be enough coverage where your dot at that point, it may be enough to have to be a full mortgage payoff. But if not, it's going to give your daughters just the emotional and financial breathing space to be able to make the best decisions possible with the home. Whether that to put a huge chunk toward the home to refinance it, to bring the monthly payments down to something much more manageable. It's just going to give them the room to be able to, you know, make the best decisions for them, especially after losing their dad. So so I'm going to start off. I'm going to start off by showing you the 250,000. So write down 250,000. But then I also want to show you 200,000 would be option two. And then the last option is 150,000. You got that there?
Yep.
So I'm gonna pivot over to the pricing course. But based off of what I just shared and based off of and these are just concepts that I put together. If we need to move some numbers around to something that you think makes perfect or makes sense for you guys, we can do that. But based off of what I shared, which seems to make the most sense for you and your daughters and your family?
I think that middle one, I really don't know when I'm gonna pass away, but that middle one seems kind of comfortable. I mean, how much is it?
So 150,000,
Yeah.
you like that option? So I mean, you said comfortable. I guess, what is kind of the thought process there?
Well, I mean, I don't plan on dying tomorrow. And I have some other, I had that coverage at work, and I do have some money in savings, and I don't know how much my car will be worth, but there's maybe something to get out of there, and so I could see them not needing, the full coverage just with some of the things that I have in place. And if I passed away tomorrow, I mean, if they can't figure it out with that, then I was a bad father and raised them wrong.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Marty.
They better
Um,
figure it out.
But that's a great point that you've made too. Is that, God forbid something happens tomorrow. You have that additional, you have the work policy, your burial's taken care of, but you have your work policy. You said you have some assets in your 401k. So just like you said, I mean, it's just going to give them the space to be able to, um, move in and, between and first and foremost, give them the time to figure out what is the best next step. And then if they decide to keep the home, it's just going to give them a whole lot of room and space to be able to do that comfortably.
All right. Did you guys see where him figuring out assets has come full circle in the coverage? Like I knew when you did, I was ready for it. I was like, oh, you were asking about these assets. I know where we're going because the clients know they have these things, and they're crunching in their head like, I don't really need this. They had this, they had that. I brought up selling my car just because. Why not? I've never actually heard a client say that before, but these are the things that they know that they have that we really don't know. Steve, you did a great job of going anything else, really uncovering a little bit of money in 401k, a little bit of coverage at work. That's why that's why any client's going to say, give me that middle one because I know, and he's already said it's okay. He's not trying to sell me the top one. We're trying to uncover a need. I mean, I hope you guys are feeling, I mean, this is a puzzle that he is putting together, And the final little piece here is the coverage that fits that completes the picture for this client. So it's so good, Steve. All right. So I like the middle option. You're saying your thing. Continue on.
Perfect. We're going to start right there. So so again, this is through American Amicable. It is that 20-year term. And God forbid something happens to you. American Amicable is going to send a lump sum of $150,000 to your daughters. And however you want to essentially allocate that, what I see a lot of people doing, is, 50-50, or if you just wanted to name one, that's absolutely up to you and your decision. But they'll essentially send them $150,000 in a lump sum, 100% tax free. So for $150,000 in coverage, you're looking at that for that option is $145 a month through American Amicable.
Oh, okay. 100. Okay. Man, I thought that'd be a little bit less expensive for that little coverage.
Does that make you feel just a little bit uncomfortable as far as the pricing?
Yeah, I thought it would be less expensive. That sounds a little high.
Okay. Um, so the options we can take, if that, because it has to make sense within your budget. You know, if you are, in a position where you have to consider, kind of just life expenses too. If you're driving down the road and you blow out a couple tires, or if your refrigerator breaks down, this has to fit comfortably within your budget, for it to make sense for you here. So, I mean, do you think it would make sense then, Marty, seeing that feels a little outside of the budget? It would be to look at a different option, to maybe pivot down a little bit, to say that third option for 100,000, to see if we can bring that price down a little bit, to make that more comfortably for you on a monthly basis.
Yeah,
And
let's take a look at that 100,000 one. I mean I like the 150, but it's just yeah, let's just look at that 100,000.
okay, so if we look at that third option at 100,000, that's going to be $99 a month.
Oh, okay.
How does that feel as far as kind of fitting the needs with 100,000, knowing that we did reduce the coverage a little bit, but getting that more in line with your budget at $99?
All right, let's pause here really quick. So that's how Steve eliminated to think about it, right? There's so many things that he's setting up here, right? Let's make sure it's comfortable in your budget. How does it look, if you're driving down the road and blow out a tire, all stuff. He's giving me space to kind of think about it and to be open and honest and keep that communication there. Instead of, if you don't have this relationship, this professionalism, they need to go think about it, right? And fortunately, he's done a good job and kind of open it up to, hey, basically, is it worth it to you? Do we need to look at something less? Instead of a lot of these clients, but no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, because they don't want to tell you they can't afford it. But Steve's given this space for them to be honest and go, hey, I need to see something a little bit less. And that's another way that it's so subtle, Steve, and it's so good. But did you guys feel that? Like if you go back and listen to it, this is being recorded, but listen to how he teed that up in that moment of like, that's more expensive than I thought it was going to be. Everyone has a number in their head that they can spend. And it might be 125, 99 was perfect because I was thinking like if I had this client, I want to find something that's like $100, right? And fortunately with the fake numbers that we came up with, it's perfect, but he's giving the client the space so they don't have to think about it. They have these other assets, they have these other things to talk about. These are the ways that the think about it's not get eliminated, Steve, right? You're not perfect, but they get reduced big time. Big time. So, Steve, we can kind of finish there, right? I'll pause it because I'm going to
Sure.
say yes, that's great. You're gonna so like I say, yeah. Let's finish it up. Let's see how you
Yep.
close it. Let's see how you
Okay.
close it. Yeah, that's much more comfortable in my budget.
Okay, perfect. Well, the most important thing, Marty, is obviously making sure that the insurance carrier will approve you for the plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up an electronic application and we'll walk through that together.
Okay. So, Steve, what if you get pushback right there? I mean, you're so assumptive. He already told me this is what we're going to do. I picked it. He said we're going to fill out an application.
Yep.
Do you get much pushback there when you do that?
Not usually,
Yeah,
not
I wouldn't imagine you
usually,
would.
because I'm just diving right in. And I'll have like if I feel that, well, I mean, not even if I feel, I have the application all ready to go.
Yes.
So I'll even streamline it out to say like, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the electronic application, and then we'll walk through that together for you. Marty, what is your middle initial? Like just to streamline into it, so it's like. I don't want to leave any type of question mark hanging at the end of.
Yeah. Do you want to apply for this? Horrible question. Hey, do you have time? If you have time, we could apply for this now. Terrible,
Hmm.
right? All the things that I've said in my past. So, hey, great. Let me just walk you through this. Let me go walk you through this thing I said we were going to do. And he's just moving. I've always had the e-app up. I've always got first and last name in there. I'm ready to rock it. And I just need that middle initial. So.